Have you ever wondered if the world you see is truly real? I mean, what if I told you that your brain, that 3-pound universe inside your head, is constantly constructing its own version of reality? We tend to think our eyes work like cameras, passively recording the world around us. But the truth is far more intriguing. Our brains are actively involved in shaping our perception, filtering information, and even filling in the gaps. This means that the reality we experience is not an objective truth but a subjective interpretation, a carefully curated illusion woven by our brains. And just like any good magic trick, understanding how these illusions work can be both fascinating and empowering. So get ready to journey into the fascinating world of perception, where we'll explore the captivating ways our brains shape our reality and unveil the illusions that blind us from seeing the world as it truly is. Let's start with a simple question. How much of your visual field is actually in sharp focus? You might be surprised to learn that it's only a small area, roughly the size of your thumbnail held at arm's length. The rest of your vision, the periphery, is blurry and less detailed. So how do we navigate the world with such limited high-resolution input? It's a bit like looking through a straw with a tiny magnifying glass at the end. The answer lies in the remarkable ability of our eyes to dart around rapidly, making tiny movements called saccades. These saccades bring different parts of the scene into focus, like a mosaic being pieced together one tile at a time. And here's the kicker. During each saccade, our vision is momentarily suppressed. This prevents us from seeing a blurry mess of motion. Essentially, we're effectively blind for a fraction of a second, multiple times per second. Think about that for a second. We go through life experiencing a seamless, continuous visual stream. Yet in reality, it's a series of snapshots stitched together by our brains. It's like a film reel, where individual frames flicker past so quickly that our brains perceive them as continuous motion. And just like a film has gaps between frames, our vision has moments of blindness. Now, you might think these moments of blindness would be noticeable, but our brains are masters of deception. They fill in the gaps, extrapolating from the information they have to create a smooth and continuous experience. In fact, these saccadic interruptions add up to a significant amount of time. Researchers estimate that we're effectively blind for about 2 hours every single day due to these rapid eye movements. Here's another mind-bending concept. Our senses, sight, sound, touch, don't arrive in our brains simultaneously. That's right, the world we experience is a symphony of sensory information arriving at different times. Light travels faster than sound, meaning we see things before we hear them. And touch signals, while incredibly fast, still take time to travel from our skin to our brains. So, how does our brain make sense of this cacophony of delayed signals? The answer lies in the brain's remarkable ability to edit and synchronize this information, creating a unified and coherent perception of reality. Our brains act like skilled audio and video editors, taking in disparate signals and aligning them in time. This means that the present we experience is actually a slightly delayed version of reality, a carefully constructed illusion that ensures our senses align and the world makes sense. Think about watching a fireworks display. You see the explosion first, followed by the boom moments later. Yet your brain seamlessly integrates these events, making it seem like the sound and light occur simultaneously. This temporal binding, as it's called, is crucial for our ability to interact with the world effectively. Imagine trying to catch a ball if your brain couldn't synchronize the visual information with the motor commands needed to move your hand. But this editing process also means that our perception of now is subjective, influenced by factors like distance, attention, and even our own internal states. So the next time you think you're experiencing the world in real time, remember that your brain is working behind the scenes, constantly editing and manipulating your perception of reality to create a cohesive and meaningful experience. Friends, have you ever wondered how a professional table tennis player reacts so swiftly to a lightning-fast serve? It's not magic, but a testament to the brain's incredible ability to predict the future. You see, our brains are constantly making predictions about the world around us, especially when it comes to moving objects. In the case of our table tennis pro, their brain, based on years of experience, rapidly calculates the trajectory of the ball. This prediction happens faster than conscious thought, allowing them to move their paddle to the precise location where the ball will be, not where it is at that moment. It's like having a crystal ball inside your head, anticipating events before they unfold. This predictive power is not limited to athletes, it's a fundamental aspect of how we all navigate the world. Think about driving a car. You're constantly predicting the movements of other cars, pedestrians, and even the changing traffic lights. Your brain is a prediction machine, constantly running simulations to keep you one step ahead of reality. Now you might ask, how does the brain decide which prediction to act on? Well, it's all about probability. The brain weighs various possible outcomes of a situation and selects the most probable one to act upon, often before we're even consciously aware of making a choice. This means that what we perceive as free will might be, in part, an illusion created by our predictive brain. We feel like we're making a conscious decision, but in reality, our brain might have already made the call based on its lightning-fast calculations. This isn't to say we're robots completely controlled by our subconscious predictions. Consciousness does play a role, but it often acts as more of an observer, approving or slightly modifying the actions already set in motion by our predictive brain. It's a fascinating dance between our conscious and unconscious minds, a constant interplay that shapes our experience of the world. And it all highlights just how remarkable and complex this 3-pound universe inside our heads truly is. Our brains are masters of efficiency, constantly filtering the torrent of information from our senses to focus on what seems most important. But this efficiency comes at a price: inattentional blindness. Have you ever been so engrossed in a task that you completely miss something obvious happening right in front of you? That's inattentional blindness in action. One of the most famous demonstrations of this phenomenon involved a group of people watching a video of basketball players passing a ball. Their task was to count the number of passes, and they were so focused on this task that over half of them failed to notice a person in a gorilla suit casually strolling through the scene. This experiment revealed a startling truth. When our attention is laser-focused, we can become blind to the unexpected, even when it's right before our eyes. So what's going on in the brain during inattentional blindness? Neuroscientists have identified several brain regions involved in this phenomenon, including the lateral occipital cortex, responsible for processing visual information, and the temporoparietal junction, which plays a role in attention and awareness. During tasks requiring intense focus, these regions prioritize processing the attended information, effectively suppressing the processing of unattended stimuli. Now it's like your brain is saying, hey, that gorilla is interesting and all, but right now, I'm busy counting passes. This selective attention allows us to function effectively in a world overflowing with sensory input. Imagine if we were constantly bombarded by every sight, sound, and sensation around us. We'd be overwhelmed. But this filtering mechanism also makes us vulnerable to missing crucial details, especially when our attention is hijacked by distractions or intense focus. It's a constant trade-off, a delicate balance between efficiency and awareness. Time, that relentless river flowing from the past to the future, seems like a constant in our lives. But what if I told you that our perception of time is far from constant, that it can be stretched and compressed by our brains? We've all experienced moments where time seems to slow down, like when we're in a car accident or witnessing something incredible. Conversely, time can fly by when we're engaged in something enjoyable or deeply focused. These subjective experiences of time warping are not just anecdotal, they're backed by scientific research. Studies have shown that during intense situations, our brains release hormones like adrenaline and dopamine, which increase our arousal levels and enhance our memory encoding. This heightened brain activity creates the illusion of time slowing down, as if our brains are recording the event in high definition, capturing more details than usual. The mechanisms behind time perception are complex and not fully understood, but one theory is that our brains rely on internal clocks, or pacemakers, that generate pulses at different frequencies depending on our level of arousal and attention. When we're highly aroused, these pacemakers tick faster, creating the perception of time slowing down. Another theory suggests that our perception of time is influenced by the amount of information our brains are processing. When we're exposed to novel or complex stimuli, our brains have to work harder to make sense of the information, leading to the feeling that time is passing more slowly. The study of time perception is a fascinating frontier in neuroscience, challenging our fundamental understanding of how our brains construct our experience of reality. It seems that time, like so many other aspects of our perception, is not a fixed entity but a fluid construct, molded by the intricate workings of our minds. We often think of our bodies like cars. We fill them with fuel, take them for a spin, and react when the fuel gauge blinks low. But what if I told you your brain has a more nuanced system, a predictive budget for your body's resources? Imagine this. You wake up feeling sluggish, not because you're low on energy but because your brain, based on yesterday's exertion and tonight's anticipated sleep, predicts you'll need to conserve energy throughout the day. It's like your brain is saying, let's take it easy today. We've got a long-term plan here. This predictive budgeting extends to emotions too. Ever get butterflies before a big presentation? Your brain, drawing on past experiences of social evaluation, anticipates potential threats and floods your system with hormones, prepping you for a fight-or-flight response, even though the threat is just a room full of colleagues. So, that feeling of anxiety? It's not necessarily you reacting to the present moment, it's your brain's best guess about the future, a prediction that can, in a fascinating feedback loop, actually influence your emotional experience. It seems our internal world is just as susceptible to illusions as our external one. We like to think we're in control, that our actions are a direct result of our conscious decisions, but the reality is far more complex. Think about hunger. We eat when we feel hungry, right? But that feeling isn't just your stomach grumbling, it's your brain, anticipating a drop in blood sugar, sending signals to refuel. It's a proactive system, not a reactive one. This predictive power extends to our perception of self. Our beliefs and values are fluid constructs shaped by our brain's predictions. The implications are profound. If our brain is constantly predicting our reality, what does that say about free will? Are we just passengers, or can we influence our own consciousness? These are the questions that keep me up at night. We've journeyed deep into the neural pathways, exposing the illusions our brains craft to navigate the world. But this isn't just an exercise in intellectual curiosity. Understanding these perceptual quirks is crucial for navigating our daily lives, for making sound judgments, and for connecting meaningfully with others. Take inattentional blindness. Knowing that our focus can be hijacked by the mundane, that we can miss the gorilla in the room, should give us pause. It highlights the importance of cultivating attention, of being present in the moment. And what about our brain's tendency to predict? This knowledge can help us break free from self-limiting beliefs, those pesky predictions based on past experiences that no longer serve us. If we recognize that our anxieties might be echoes of yesterday's fears, we can choose to rewrite the script, to author a new narrative for ourselves. Understanding these perceptual limitations isn't about doubting our senses. It's about enriching them, about becoming more conscious architects of our own experience. It's about recognizing that reality, like the universe, is far stranger, far more wondrous than we often perceive. So how do we bridge the gap between the reality our brains construct and the reality that exists outside our skulls? One answer, increasingly supported by scientific research, lies in the ancient practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness, in its essence, is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing our thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise, without getting swept away by them. It's about becoming intimately acquainted with the workings of our own minds, and the benefits are tangible. Studies show that even brief mindfulness training can reduce inattentional blindness, improve our ability to focus, and even enhance our emotional regulation. It's like upgrading the operating system of our brains, sharpening our perception, and expanding our awareness. In a world saturated with distractions, cultivating mindfulness is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. By becoming more aware of our perceptual biases, by training our minds to be present, we can move beyond the illusions, embrace the richness of reality, and perhaps, just perhaps, unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe we inhabit. We've journeyed deep into the intricate workings of the human brain, a 3-pound cosmos more complex than any galaxy we've observed. We've seen firsthand how our brains, in their quest to present us with a seamless perception of reality, often take shortcuts, editing and even omitting information along the way. Our brains, it turns out, are masters of illusion, crafting a narrative that feels real, but is ultimately a carefully curated version of the objective world. From the surprising amount of time we spend functionally blind due to saccadic masking to the way our brains predict emotions, our perception is a marvel of both accuracy and artful manipulation. But this isn't a reason to doubt everything we experience. Instead, understanding these limitations empowers us. By acknowledging the brain's tricks, we can become more attuned to our own biases and make more informed decisions. Remember, the universe doesn't owe us an easy-to-understand reality. It's up to us to develop the critical thinking skills to see through the illusions and appreciate the wonders of both the cosmos within and the cosmos beyond. This journey into the illusions of perception is far from over. Every day, neuroscientists are making new discoveries, uncovering more layers of complexity within the human brain. We're learning more about how our senses interact, how our emotions influence our perceptions, and how our brains construct our very sense of self. The more we understand about these processes, the more we realize how much we don't yet know. But that's the beauty of science. It's a never-ending quest for knowledge, an exploration driven by curiosity and the desire to unravel the mysteries of the universe both within and beyond ourselves. As you go about your day, I encourage you to remain curious. Question what you see, hear, and feel. Don't be afraid to challenge your own assumptions about reality. After all, the most profound discoveries often come from questioning what we think we know. And who knows? The next breakthrough in understanding the human mind might come from your own observations, your own willingness to look beyond the illusions and embrace the wonders of the cosmos within. Let's face it, folks, our brains can be surprisingly oblivious, even when we think we're paying attention. Case in point, the infamous invisible gorilla experiment. Researchers showed participants a video of people passing basketballs and asked them to count the passes. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, here's the catch. During the video, a person in a gorilla suit walks right through the middle of the action, even stopping to beat their chest. You'd think that would be hard to miss, but, astonishingly, over 50% of the participants completely failed to notice the gorilla. This phenomenon, known as inattentional blindness, highlights just how selective our attention can be. When we're laser-focused on one task, our brains can filter out even the most unexpected stimuli. So the next time you're feeling confident in your powers of observation, remember the invisible gorilla. It's a humbling reminder that our brains aren't always as perceptive as we might assume. Now you might be thinking, great, so my brain is basically playing tricks on me all the time. Is there anything I can do about it? Well, the good news is, yes. Mindfulness helps us pay attention to the present moment without judgment. Studies show mindfulness can reduce inattentional blindness by 41%. Imagine the benefits in our everyday lives. From driving safely to meaningful conversations, being present makes a difference. By cultivating mindfulness, we can appreciate both the magic and limitations of our perception. From the illusions of vision to the subjective nature of time, we've uncovered some of the fascinating ways our brains construct our reality. Remember, the journey of understanding our own perception is ongoing. Keep asking questions, stay curious, and never stop exploring the vast and wondrous cosmos within your own mind. Until next time, keep looking up.